Let's shed some light on something that I don't really like complimenting too much, and neither do you really, and that's Liverpool. And maybe sort of complimenting them on the way they did come back into the game, because it was unlikely for a while, wasn't it? But that substitution of Nunez made all the difference, and he was the clinical edge that the Newcastle seemed to need as well. So fair play to him. But it could have been so much different, couldn't it? The red card at the start of the game, and also, well, it was near the start, wasn't it? And also the potential red card for Trent Alexander-Arnold that was overlooked. So they rode their luck quite a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. But you have to in games like this. And to be honest, like we said, I think Liverpool might have been the only team to win at St James's Park last year, or maybe Arsenal as well. But that's what you need in games like this, particularly when you find yourselves at that disadvantage in such an early stage. And they just kept themselves in the game. That's the main thing. Right until the end, they were in the game. And then the fact they were able to capitalise on that is fantastic for them. They've got a wealth of attacking talent. We know that. And it gives defences a lot to try and process if that's changing at those stages. Because when you've been dealing with the likes of Jota or Gakpo or Salah for a whole game, and then you've got someone like Nunez to come off the bench who is just going to run at you. He's just a menace, isn't he? He's going to cause you problems defensively. And he found those pockets, and the both balls through to him. The first one, obviously, defender makes a meal of it and he manages to capitalise. But the second one's a perfect pass. And the finishes are nearly identical. So it's clearly something he's worked on going across the keeper, because how many times have we seen Nunez squander chances like that? It was fantastic from him.
I don't think anybody doubts that Liverpool are a very potent attacking threat, but defensively, same issues, isn't it, in some ways?
Yeah.
And I think Trent was very lucky to still be on the pitch. I really do.
Yeah.
Just because it's early, I don't think it means you should hold back on giving them a card, because if that was the first offence, he would have got a yellow for it. But because it was so early in the game, I think he was reluctant to change the shape of it, which I do understand to an extent. But I mean, Newcastle have got every right to feel like that's a missed opportunity for them to kind of push on further. And obviously the Van Dijk situation as well. I don't know what it is with penalty situations and sending offs this weekend, where we'll talk about another one later with the United game, but fans seem to be getting in hysterics about the decision, when I'm looking at it thinking that's clean cut. Van Dijk deserved to go, didn't he? He came across the player before he took the ball.
Yeah, I could not understand what the argument was, because he was absolutely furious, Van Dijk. And actually, he's risking getting a further ban now for dissent, because it was ridiculous.
I think he will.
He was the last man. Isak had rolled him. Ball had gone through. Like, that's a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. He's through one goal and you've taken him out as the last man. I couldn't see any complaint, to be honest. Klopp does his normal Jurgen Klopp, where he fakes this outrage on the touchline, and Van Dijk's clearly picked that up. But as a captain, as a defender who we're used to being at the absolute elite level and making the right decisions, I thought it was a really poor showing. And we've seen a slight decline in Van Dijk over the last season, perhaps. And that challenge, I think Neville said it on commentary, he just never would have made that 12 months ago. But he just lost his place. He just couldn't keep up with Isak. And I thought it was a very clear red card. And defensively, Liverpool still have issues. It looks like they're going into the last few days of the window. I really feel like they need another centre-back as well, particularly when now that Van Dijk's injured, I think it looks like it's going to be Joe Gomez and Matip against Villa at the weekend. I'll take that all day, to be honest. And Trent, as much as he's progressed well further up the pitch, as we always say with him, it's the same conversation. Defensively, let them down in this game for the goal as well, just by being complacent and not being aware of the players around him. So they definitely need to address that defensive position. I don't think Endo made a huge difference in this game really either as that holding midfielder. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool dip back into the market. It'd be whether or not they do so with the Salah money. If that happens, that's the only thing I'd be worried about really.